The world never plays fair. You can work hard, stay loyal, and speak truth, and still be replaced by someone colder, louder, or more calculated. You can build everything with your bare hands, and one whisper from a clever tongue can tear it down. That's the first rule of survival. Fairness is a myth told to keep you obedient. Those who understand this survive. Those who adapt to it rule. The rest, they spend their lives wondering why good intentions never bought them respect. Let's call it what it is. The art of dark intelligence. The ability to read between words, to sense hidden motives, to use silence as a weapon and patience as a shield. It's not about cruelty. It's about clarity. It's about seeing the game that everyone else pretends doesn't exist. Most people play checkers. You're about to learn how to play chess. But before we dive deep, let me be clear. This isn't about manipulation for destruction. It's about protection. It's about becoming so valuable, so strategically aware, that no one can play you. The goal isn't to harm. It's to defend your throne in a world where kindness without strength is a weakness. Because here's the truth: power isn't given, it's taken. Quietly, strategically, and with precision. By the end of this, you'll know how to move like a shadow, speak like a storm, and build value that no one dares to discard. You'll understand why being dangerously valuable doesn't mean being feared. It means being untouchable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my power through awareness. Now, let's unlock the secrets. Silence is not emptiness. It's control. It's the space where real power lives. When you stop rushing to fill every gap with words, you start forcing others to reveal themselves. You turn conversation into confession. Machiavelli once said, "A wise man does at once what a fool does at last." That's silence in action. Waiting, observing, striking when it matters. Here's what most people don't understand: silence isn't weakness. It's data collection. When you stay quiet, you let people project their fears, their desires, their insecurities. You watch what they emphasize, what they hide, what they repeat. Every pause becomes a test. Let's say someone challenges you in a meeting. Most people defend instantly, but the powerful one stays silent for a few seconds. That silence burns. It makes the challenger question themselves. It makes everyone else in the room wonder what you're thinking. You've already won before saying a word. Most people talk to prove intelligence, but the intelligent stay quiet to reveal truth. Here's the contrast. Average people fill silence because they're uncomfortable. Strategic people let silence work for them. Instead of defending, they delay. Instead of reacting, they absorb. Notice how much more valuable your words become when they're rare. This applies everywhere. In negotiation, silence makes offers rise. In relationships, silence exposes loyalty. In leadership, silence commands attention. This doesn't mean you become distant or cold. It means you learn to control when and how you speak. The key is awareness, knowing that every word you say either builds or bleeds power. Never confuse silence with passivity. It's the pause before precision. Remember, the loudest room belongs to the quietest mind. Perception is the currency of power. The way others see you determines how they treat you, how they value you, and how much freedom you have. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you appear to deserve. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." That's the essence of strategic presentation. You decide the story others believe about you. Think of your life as a stage. Most people stumble onto it, reacting to the audience's noise. But the Machiavellian mind designs the lighting, the script, the timing. You don't fake who you are. You frame who you are. For example, when you walk into a new job, People judge you within seconds. Instead of oversharing, speak little and perform steadily. When others gossip, your mystery grows. When others panic, your calmness becomes magnetic. People will start filling in the blanks with admiration, because humans fear what they can't fully read. The mistake most make is believing authenticity means full exposure. But authenticity with strategy is strength. Oversharing your emotions, your plans, your struggles only gives ammunition to those waiting to use them. Instead, build layers. Share selectively. Let your competence speak before your words do. Every image, every gesture, every silence should reinforce one thing: you are intentional. This doesn't mean deception. It means direction. When you control your image, you control how others approach you. Most people try to be understood. The powerful aim to be unforgettable. So here's the balance: never lie, but never expose the full map. Let them see enough to trust you, but not enough to trap you. Remember this line: perception shapes protection. Guard yours carefully. Emotion is the most expensive currency in the game of power. The moment you react, you've surrendered control. The calm one always wins. Machiavelli once said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. But look deeper." What he meant was this: the ruler's composure shapes the kingdom. People feed off your emotions. Lose your temper once, and you give them the blueprint to manipulate you again. When you're angry, they know where to push. When you're desperate, they know what to offer. Let's say someone insults you publicly. Most people snap back to defend their pride, but the Machiavellian thinker stays still. You watch, you let silence sting. Then, later you act when they least expect it. Calm, strategic, detached. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Here's what most people do wrong: they confuse honesty with impulsiveness. They think being real means saying everything they feel in the moment. But truth without timing is self-sabotage. Instead, learn emotional distance. Feel deeply, but respond slowly. Observe what your emotions are telling you, but don't let them drive the vehicle. This applies in leadership, love, and competition. The moment someone can predict your emotional pattern, they can script your downfall. This doesn't mean suppressing your humanity. It means channeling it. Anger can fuel action if guided. Pain can sharpen awareness. But unfiltered emotion is the enemy of power. So here's the warning: never confuse control with numbness. Feel everything, but act from choice, not impulse. Because the one who controls emotion controls the outcome. Remember this: storms look wild, but they always have a calm center. Be that center. The rarer you are, the more the world pays attention. The more available you are, the more invisible you become. Power comes from scarcity, not abundance. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Translated into modern language, it's better to be respected for your rarity than liked for your accessibility. Here's the psychology behind it. Humans crave what they can't easily have. The harder something is to access, the more it's valued. When you're always available, people take you for granted. When you step back, they start to chase. Think about it. The artist no one understands becomes a legend. The friend who disappears becomes a mystery. The leader who speaks rarely has every word remembered. Most people think constant presence builds loyalty. But overexposure breeds boredom. When you flood others with your time, your attention, your energy, you teach them to undervalue it. Instead, create rhythm. Give, then retreat. Speak, then disappear. Work, then vanish into silence. Each reappearance resets the value of your presence. This principle applies to business, relationships, even self-worth. Your time, your attention, your peace, they're your most valuable assets. Spend them like gold, not like spare change. Now here's the balance. Scarcity shouldn't become arrogance. Don't vanish to manipulate. Withdraw to recharge. Distance makes your energy pure again. When you understand this, you stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. Because in a world addicted to noise, the rarest voice is the one that speaks last. Remember, power fades with availability. Protect your presence like treasure. Power hides in mystery. The more people know about your plans, the easier it is for them to stop you. The moment you explain every move, you lose leverage. Machiavelli once said, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." He didn't mean dishonesty. He meant discretion. Strategy thrives in silence. Here's how it works. When you keep your goals partially hidden, people underestimate you. They guess, they speculate, they relax, and in that space you move. Let's say you're building something big, a business, a shift in career, a transformation of yourself. You don't broadcast it. You work quietly, letting your results appear like lightning without thunder. That's how shock turns into respect. Most people over-explain because they crave reassurance. They want others to validate their vision, but validation invites interference. People advise, question, doubt, and plant seeds of hesitation. You waste your energy defending what should have remained invisible. Instead, speak in fragments. Give general answers. Smile when questioned. Let curiosity build suspense. When they finally see what you are building, it's too late for them to compete. Now, here's the deeper truth. Concealment protects not only your plans but also your peace. The fewer opinions you entertain, the clearer your focus. The less you share, the fewer daggers you invite. In personal relationships, this means mastering emotional economy. You don't need to explain why you're silent, busy, or focused. Those who truly understand you will sense your direction. Those who don't were never meant to follow. Most people brag too soon, show too much, promise too loudly. Then wonder why their progress stalls. Instead, promise nothing, deliver everything. But here's the warning: secrecy without purpose becomes paranoia. Don't hide to isolate. Hide to protect momentum. The goal isn't secrecy, it's security. Remember this line: invisible preparation creates visible dominance. Power is a language, subtle, silent, and everywhere. The powerful speak it fluently. The unaware never realize they're being spoken to. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but few can feel." Meaning, what people see is never the full story. Power often hides behind smiles, gestures, tone, and timing. To become dangerously valuable, you must learn to read beneath words. Watch posture. Study pauses. Listen for what's missing. In meetings, notice who speaks last, who interrupts, who's deferred to when decisions are made. Power is not declared. It's acknowledged through silence and reaction. In social circles, observe who defends whom. Observe who speaks when the dominant one enters. These small tells reveal the invisible hierarchy. Now here's where it gets deep. When you can read power, you can redirect it. You'll know when to speak and when to stay silent, when to praise and when to disappear. You'll understand that most influence isn't loud. It's silent calibration. Most people talk as if words equal weight. But in power dynamics, timing is weight. A short sentence at the right moment can outweigh a speech. Here's the contrast. Ordinary people argue for attention. Strategic people listen for leverage. They understand that attention is temporary. But understanding is permanent. Apply this everywhere. In business, watch the clients who act calm under pressure. They hold authority. In relationships, notice who frames the emotional tone. That's the one leading. In negotiations, notice who can stay patient longest. They already won. But don't misread composure as dominance. True power respects subtlety. Pretenders crave validation. Real strength doesn't advertise. Here's the balance. Don't play the detective to expose others. Play it to refine yourself. Awareness gives you freedom from being unconsciously manipulated. Remember this: when you read the room, you rewrite your position in it. Attachment blinds strategy. The moment you need something too much, you lose perspective, and the one who wants less always controls the exchange. Machiavelli once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Detachment gives you the space to act with wisdom rather than emotion. When you detach, you don't stop caring, you stop clinging. You see the game as it is, not as you wish it to be. That's how clarity replaces desperation. Think about negotiations. The person willing to walk away always has leverage. The seller desperate to close loses price, pride, and patience. The same rule governs relationships, opportunities, and reputation. The less you chase, the more gravity you have. Here's what most people do wrong. They equate effort with obsession. They chase approval, validation, and control. They fight every loss as if survival depends on it. But attachment makes you predictable. People can sense when you're emotionally invested, and they use it. Instead, cultivate inner abundance. Know that you can rebuild, redirect, and restart. When you know your worth, you stop begging for attention. You start commanding it through presence. Detachment doesn't mean coldness. It means self-respect. You stop playing for crumbs when you remember you can bake your own bread. Now here's the practical layer. Detach from praise as well as criticism. Don't over-celebrate approval, and don't overreact to rejection. The moment someone else's opinion defines your emotion, you've given away your crown. Here's the warning. Detachment without empathy becomes indifference. You must care, but never depend. You must give, but never kneel. Remember this line. Freedom begins the moment you stop needing permission to be powerful. Every scar you hide carries potential energy. The world tried to break you, but it gave you information instead. Your pain, once understood, becomes leverage. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." The first person you must command is your wounded self. Here's how dark psychology reframes pain. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you ask, "What now?" Every betrayal, failure, or humiliation becomes a case study in human nature. You start seeing motives, patterns, lies, and with each lesson, your emotional armor thickens. Let's say someone betrayed you. Most people drown in bitterness, but the Machiavellian mind studies. Why did they do it? What signals did I miss? What pattern did I ignore? You don't forgive to absolve, you analyze to evolve. Pain is the most honest teacher. It shows you what you tolerate, what you ignore, what you need to outgrow. When you start treating pain as data, you stop seeing yourself as victim. You become strategist. Most people avoid discomfort, they numb it with distraction. But the dangerous ones walk straight into it, collect every detail, and walk out wiser. That's how pain turns to precision. Apply this everywhere. In your career, let rejection refine your skill. In relationships, let betrayal sharpen your boundaries. In your inner world, let shame become discipline. Now here's the key. Pain alone doesn't make you strong, reflection does. Without reflection, you repeat the same wounds with new names. This doesn't mean romanticizing suffering. It means extracting wisdom from it. When you master that, nothing can destroy you twice. Remember, this pain is the currency you pay for wisdom. Spend it wisely. You've just learned the 8 ruthless principles of becoming dangerously valuable. But knowledge without application is worthless. Power doesn't grow in theory. It grows in repetition. Every lesson you heard means nothing until you practice it in silence, in the shadows, in the quiet corners of your real life. So here's your assignment. Don't try to master all 8 at once. Pick one. Just one. Maybe it's silence. Maybe it's emotional control. Maybe it's detachment. For the next 7 days, live inside that single trait. Watch yourself. Observe when you forget it. Observe when you succeed. Every repetition plants a seed of control. And when you control one pattern, you begin to command your entire world. Understand this: the goal isn't to become feared. It's to become free. The more aware you are, the less easily you are played. The more disciplined you become, the less power chaos has over you. Use these insights to protect yourself, not to harm others. Strategy without morality is self-destruction. Machiavelli taught rulers how to survive in corrupted courts. But in today's world, your court is your career, your relationships, your peace of mind. You don't need cruelty to survive. You need clarity. You don't need manipulation. You need mastery. The world doesn't reward innocence. It rewards intelligence. But intelligence with conscience. That's true power. That's how you walk through betrayal without becoming bitter. How you move through competition without losing compassion. Here's the bigger picture. The world doesn't need more manipulators. It needs people immune to manipulation. People who can see through deceit without spreading it. People who can sense darkness, yet stay rooted in light. There are only 2 kinds of people: the manipulators and the unmanipulatable. The first seek control through deception. The second gain control through self-awareness. The first need others to feel powerful. The second only need discipline. Which kind of person do you choose to be? Do you want to chase temporary power that fades with attention? Or build eternal power that grows with awareness? If you choose the second, then this is where your transformation begins. Like this video if it woke something inside you. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another drop of dark wisdom. And in the comments, answer this. Which of these 8 lessons will you master first? Because that single choice, that one commitment, will decide the level of power you hold in this lifetime. Stay strategic. Stay ethical. Stay powerful. And remember, in a world built on illusion, your awareness is your armor. Your silence is your sword. And your value, when guarded with strategy, makes you untouchable.